Hi everybody, Zach here for another episode of our flagship program, The Spideydude Experience. This episode is brought to you by our loyal patrons over at patreon.com/Spideydude Network. Pledge today and get both early access to content on the main channel, as well as entirely exclusive content, like brand new shows and commentaries for old Spidey stuff, including commentaries for the MTV series, for example, as well as the video editions for Voices from the Eyrie Gargoyles Podcast. And our Patreon first show focused on the Krakoan era of X-Men. We also want to encourage you to check out our other programs that are all available on Audio Edition. These are all over on Spideydude.com, and they're available on your favorite podcasting app. Shows like Clone Saga Chronicles, the show that started this entire network, Spectacular Radio, Spectacular Sal Buscema era podcast, Amazing Spider-Man Classics, the Slot Symposium, and the sister program on this channel, Make Mine Mayday. As always, be sure to hit the like button. It really does help us big time in the algorithm. And additionally, if you have topics you'd like to cover on a live show or in a recorded medium, make sure to leave a comment down below the description or shoot us an email at SpideydudeRadioNetwork@gmail.com. Finally, make sure to join our community. Be alerted to all new updates by hitting that subscribe button and clicking on the bell. But to be clear, your viewership is more than enough for us. And if you want to hang out with us off YouTube, you can always go to our Discord, where we have all sorts of fun stuff, or you can join us on our social medias and follow us there. All the links are down in the description below. As always, we want to be making some references to visual aids and or live comments. If you're an audio listener, pay that no mind, but leave that 5-star review for us. Any and all feedback we will read on future episodes. Thank you, and without further ado, let's get rolling with this episode.
We were so close! It was so close to being done!
This episode of the Spideydude Experience. Hello, everybody. Welcome. I am Zach Joyner. That is Neil, who is yelling and screaming and being upset and angry. To my right is Ultimate Josh. Directly below him is Ashley. We got Ultimate Adam directly below me. And then below Neil, we've got Ultimate Javi. There's
a lot of Ultimate people here today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not Ultimate.
Me.
Hang on. I'm changing my name.
Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
Neil. I am deaf now.
You should still be Neil, though.
Sorry, Vinkman. Yeah, we got a full panel tonight because this is a good book. Bam! Look at that pretty cover by Neil. Good job, Neil.
Well, Chichetto did most of the heavy lifting.
That's true. But your graphical work is always exceptional.
Thank you.
So we've got some people already watching. If you are watching us which nobody's watching us on Twitter right now, which is weird.
Wait for the OnlyFans boss to show up.
Be sure to click on the actual thing if you're watching us on Twitter, and then leave a comment saying that you're actually watching.
Ask her to clip my yell for future reaction.
We were so close.
No, we're good.
He gave it all she's got, cotton. All right.
They took it from me.
That was today!
Neil, some of us need our hearing for work.
Oh no, I was doing the Tobey Maguire thing for It was the
You
chess,
get your wit when you fix this damn door.
It was the chess movie, right? With Tobey
Yeah,
Maguire.
Pawn Sacrifice, I think it was called. The Bobby Fischer movie.
Glad you remember that, Adam.
All right, so I mean, the only kind of news thing is they did announce the 6th printing, which has a cover that I'm going to have to buy, which I've got to find it.
June 12th. It'll be in stores. Final order cutoff May 12th.
Sorry, I almost knocked a soda on my keyboard.
That would be bad, Neil.
Yeah, I need that for my job.
Yeah.
I thought you meant you need the soda.
Well, I do need that too.
That too.
To do this.
Yeah, poor Neil has been through a crucible today, and so I
Tales from the Airport.
That should be like a comics anthology. Tales from the Airport.
Did any site report on what the Spider-Man 3 numbers were so far?
No.
Not well, maybe. Might be on.
I mean, there might be a
Mojo.
chasm in the box office between 2 and 3.
Oh my gosh!
Just
I
like
know
there was a chasm in like ticket prices too.
Wait
I
a
like
minute.
watching Dan Merle on he does charts with Dan, and he has a thing that he made up called the Bits Index, which is the butts in the seat index. Because
oh, sorry, Javi.
when we saw Spider-Man at the Alamo Draft House, it was like, I don't know, it was like $12 or $15 a ticket. But when we saw Spider-Man 3 last night at AMC, it was $5 a ticket.
Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
that's a pretty big chasm in cost point,
Right.
and that would affect the
third.
box office.
For those that are bad at math, that's a third.
Yeah. So yeah, for the price of like one ticket, 3 of us went to go see Spider-Man 3 last night in a probably 2/3 full theater that was really into the movie and like laughing, maybe not in all the right places, or maybe places they didn't hope for laughter, but it was still a fun time. The kids had a blast.
I heard people laughed at Sandman accidentally killing Uncle Ben.
Not in our
What,
theater,
really?
but yeah.
It's like, oops.
I can
Old man
picture it right
died.
now.
Where's the?
So Marcy made a point that the record for reprints is Miss Marvel. I believe, without my throat clogging up, it's also Justice League's New 52 relaunch also shares that record.
Yeah, I saw someone say that too about New 52, Justice League.
That's the cover. Look at that.
How many did the original have? Because
Original
I don't think you
Ultimate?
can. Yeah, I don't think you can get like an accurate count on that, because there were also like a whole bunch of like half reprints. Like you could go to Toys R Us and get an Ultimate Spider-Man #1, but it was only like the first 20 pages.
Mm.
Yeah, it's weird because so official reprints. I know that they had 3 covers. The tab. And then there was the dynamic.
Marcy brings to a good point that Miss Marvel had less total issues sold because they didn't expect her to sell, so it's not an accurate comparison. I think maybe it was an Ultimate Spider-Man thing too, because
Yeah, I don't think they expected this to sell, or else it wouldn't have sold out as quick as it did.
yeah.
So the original, this was the second cover.
Okay.
Oh, that's a real graphic design is my passion cover. Go back.
That's awesome.
Oh man, look at that one. Like you can barely see that one lodged into the circle.
It doesn't help that this
doesn't
isn't the
even look
resolution
like
of this
one.
image.
That
is
looks like
fast.
half
Yeah.
a Deadpool image.
Looks
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
it's
his-
240p.
That in there
His
really.
foot disappears into his forearm and chest.
You can
Oh,
see the dynamic better on the Dynamic Forces cover, but yeah, that's the
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Eskinner's backing me up.
as a graphic designer.
Real ones know graphic design when they see it.
Real ones. I think most people.
Most people are real ones.
People with
That's the point.
eyes.
Yeah.
People with eyes.
People who don't still use MS Paint.
Okay. All right. That's well done. Well done.
No, don't take away my thumbnail creation tool, Josh. Not Microsoft Paint.
For those that don't know,
It's a
this
good
is
image
the,
editor.
this is the
Crop
original.
images.
I'm just gonna go to Chat GPT or Dolly and tell them to make my thumbnails now. I'm fucking washed.
Of course, look at this cover though. I mean, honestly, there was
Where's
like,
your foot?
Yeah, it still disappears into his chest and arm there a little bit.
like
It is part of his.
well, look how bad it is comparatively though.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I
we
mean,
added shadows.
Do you
Shadow.
expect anything less from Quesada though?
Ow, the edge.
Ooh, 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 ooh. Is that Bagley that drew that? I don't know.
No, that's Quesada.
Okay.
That covers Quesada.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know who covered that. drew that.
Yeah,
that doesn't look like his usual style though. That looks like
the other one, the one crawling the wall.
That's that dude. For as good of an artist as he is, he never figured out how to draw Spider-Man's eyes.
He's
what is it with that finger?
Hang on, Zach. Go back to the Digital Forces one. I think the Digital Forces one was the Casada one.
Oh, no, that one is the Casada.
That one.
That's
is
Casada.
Too. No, I thought someone said the first one was him also.
That looks like
maybe I'm just mistaking a variant that he did for 100 that copied it. Maybe that's where I'm getting confused. Because the eyes look really weird to be Bagley for the.
I know Bagley did a version. Bagley did a version of the issue 1 cover that looks like Bagley.
Yeah. So there was the two. Okay, this is according to Mike's Amazing World of Comics.
Spideydude Experience brought to you by Mike's Amazing World of Comics.
Rest in peace, Mike.
R.I.P. Mike. The 2 cover reprints, and they recovered. Then they had it in the first volume, 2001. It was in the 100 Greatest Marvels of All Time. They had the hardcover from 2002. They had a free comic book day edition in 2002. Marvel must-haves in 2003. Ultimate Tales Flip Magazine #1. Ultimate Spider-Man: The Ultimate Collection in 2007. Ultimate Spider-Man Spanish trade paperback in 2008, and then Ultimate Spider-Man MGC #1. Marvel's Greatest Comics #1. So that was like the freebies that they would give out at the stores.
Father's Thoughts. The Scarlet Spider one was the sixth printing of Ultimate #1.
Yeah, this is the one that's final cutoff is on the 12th of May. You're listening to the audio edition, but that may already have passed, but going to be released in June, correct?
Yes, June 12th, I believe. Wednesday.
Yeah, I've seen that one. The one of him going up the building several times. They repurposed that several. Like they did it for a magazine as well, like a Spider-Man magazine.
Bye, Josh.
But Josh dropped off. He's in a hotel, so he's in shitty Wi-Fi.
So looking at the numbers.com, Spider-Man 2 made 808,000 on its Monday, and Spider-Man 3 made 760,000. So
the grand total is like 2.8 million, I think.
Yeah, because I don't know if they reported the Tuesdays and Wednesdays and all that, but that's pretty damn close for a movie that gets reviled in a lot of circles, maybe unfairly so.
Yeah.
Bendis.
Okay, let me Box Office Mojo.
Are we doing Spider-Man 3?
I looked it up but the thing about here's the thing about this is that they add up all 3 on Box Office
It's like
Mojo.
Titanic.
So that's why you got to go to the numbers.com.
There you go. So according to Box Office Mojo, total it's done 2.8, almost 2.9 worldwide million. So need to get a 7th period to get the Superior Spider-Man cover.
Well, that already came out, didn't it, in Italy?
Well, yeah. Well, the same with the Scarlet Spider one, but the Scarlet Spider one was a Panini exclusive until now.
Yeah, and everybody was pissed off because that's a damn good looking Scarlet Spider cover.
I'm thinking of Sensational. That was the one that was first printing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, all right. Any other thoughts about that, guys, before we move on to the next or to the issue itself?
Skinner says that they're shocked that we don't have a Miles variant of this or Kane.
We got the Miles Ultimate variant for issue 2.
Yeah.
I'll never get over the fact that in Ultimate Invasion #1, Maker just shows up at Miles' house and goes, "Hey man, we're both dimensional hobos. You want to come back with me and remake the universe together?"
Yeah.
Love being a dimensional hobo.
And Miles just says, "Nah, I'm good.
I'm square, buddy. You go do your thing."
You go do your
You
dimensional
go make
hoboing
your-
somewhere else.
You go make
You
your
go do your jacking off or whatever you're doing over there. And
Jesus.
think about it.
Dang.
What?
I mean, to be
What?
fair, we do have the long hog.
Yeah, it's on his head, right?
Oh yeah, that's true.
He has a long head.
Okay.
It's gonna be a long night.
Oh God. We're 15
All right,
minutes
so
in.
Ultimate
It's-
Spider-Man number 4.
You mind if I take the recap on this one?
Go for it.
You are senior recap, sir. So you have.
I mean,
I have been waiting for this recap.
Is
Yes.
it less or greater than 5 minutes? Is it less or
Well-
greater than 2 minutes?
Well, okay, it's definitely gonna be more than 2 minutes, but I can't
Oh
promise
my
5.
god, bro, you're killing me.
Shut up, Paul.
Javi's got to go to bed.
Gwen and Paul. No, wait, not Paul.
Oh,
One Spider-Man story. My bad. Gwen and Harry and Peter and MJ go out to dinner
All right, so
and get a
these-
job.
So, Ultimate Spider-Man number 3, written by Chartman Jonathan Hickman, art by Marco Checchetto, and colors by Matt Wilson.
no, David Messina is the artist.
Oh yeah, looking at the cover,
The first
so
of
yeah.
two. The first of 2 issues featuring art by David Messina.
featuring what is that? Oh, did Zach leave? I didn't notice.
Zach just got cloned.
I
That
did.
was weird.
And we tossed one of them into the smokestack.
That did happen.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anyways, fill-in artist David Messina, best known for tracing the Insomniac Spider-Man pose in photo mode for a cover.
He technically,
Um,
yes, it does look a lot like that.
So the issue begins in April at a fancy restaurant where Peter and MJ, who's finally making an appearance that's more than 2 pages in an issue, they decided to dress up a little, and they meet Harry Osborn. They make some small talk, and MJ kind of brings up her business, and then in comes Harry's wife, a politician whose policies align with white supremacists, and I forgot the joke. Shit.
It's funny because I was just looking at it earlier.
Oh, Neil.
That was basically the joke.
Oh, Neil.
That was the... Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm pulling up all the covers. So.
Anyways,
Wait, hold on. This is what you said. You said Harry greets the Parkers, and after some small talk, we find out that Harry's wife is a politician whose policies align with white supremacists and is getting derailed by a sex scandal. Oh, wait, it's just Gwen Stacy.
I mean, yeah.
Adam
Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Adam, for saving me. Radiax, right? Is the okay? Listen, this is kind of power leveling in the real world. I spent 2 hours on a runway.
Modeling?
Yeah.
I know you have the
His
hips
hair
for it.
looks so good tonight because it's all, runway.
Windswept.
Yeah.
I was standing behind the engine.
God.
Oh my god.
Anyways, Gwen Cougar Stacy comes in and introduces herself, and
Why
they
is
begin
she a
eating
cougar?
dinner. I don't know. She kind of has that vibe of like
She's
I'm
not a mom. Harry seems to be her age.
it's not a description, and it's an aesthetic.
Not
Okay.
a mom.
What,
You
did
still
you-
call her
Alright.
mommy.
Why do I need to be a mommy when your son calls me that?
Oh god.
Yikes.
What the hell?
Anyways, the four begin eating. They make some small talk about the chef being from Uruguay. Basically, MJ reveals that she's a PR brand manager. That is sort of something she picked up from her modeling days. And they talk about, oh, we wanted to have kids eventually, but not in the world we're bringing them into. It cuts away. What would help your channel is if unfunny people like Neil would listen. I never said I was funny.
We need
Who was
sound effects, Zach. Come on.
Yeah.
Dude, the fucking
Where's
sound
the-
effect ain't working.
Where's the crickets?
Hey, father's thoughts. Sorry about your luck, buddy. I'm,
If you didn't want to see someone bring the funny, this is probably not the show you wanted to pop in on. Anyways, the plot development continues as MJ says, "Oh, I've been helping Peter's uncle and Jonas start their own news thing." And after a cutaway gag from Family Guy to the Parker apartment, where Jonah is there with the Brokeback Bugle gang all together, they decide on the name of the paper.
Are the kids part of this gang now?
No,
What is going on?
I don't know. Someone take over this fucking recap for me. I'm not ready for it.
It's really
Like,
simple. MJ and Gwen go to the bathroom. Gwen asks,
Oh,
they go to the bathroom. and
my
leave
husband and I
boys
noticed
at
you
the
from
table.
across. My husband and I
And
noticed you from
Gwen
across the
asks
bar.
If MJ will do some work for her, if she can put her extra money that she has in with the people at the paper to kind of form a conglomerate or something businessy.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Peter and
pirate
Harry
ship.
are having a heart to heart where Harry tells Peter that he tells Gwen everything, and Harry is surprised that Peter hasn't told MJ anything. And they finish their dinner. Peter and MJ walk home, and he's trying to broach the subject about being a hero, but she tells him that he's all the hero that she needs. The end.
Yeah, thank you, Javi.
Well, to be
There you
continued.
go.
TBC, to be continued.
To be continued. Adam's correct.
I don't know if that came through or not.
It did.
That
It
the-
did.
It did.
or at least on my side.
Okay, cool.
The entire conversation in the bathroom is just, "Hey, want to help me launder some money?"
Basically.
Okay.
Me and my husband noticed you from across the bar, and we like your vibe.
I mean, that is a thing. So
Yeah, that's the joke.
I know. Shut up. So, okay, let's go around the horn. Let's give our grades, and then we'll get into like our discussion and the thoughts. So let's go with Javi.
A+.
A+.
Well, A.
Okay, hang on.
Mhm.
I don't know what happened to yours. A+. Trying to do this on the fly. There we go. Javi's grade is an A+. Ashley, what's your grade?
It's an A.
A.
Mhm.
Adam?
A.
A. Neil?
Giving it an A.
A.
Excuse me.
Josh?
A.
Oh. A. And my grade is A. So A's across the board. Everybody gave it an A. Except for Javi gave it an A+.
No, I
He
backed
said
it
he
down
changed
to an A.
it. To
Oh
an
yeah,
A.
he brought it down to an A. Never mind. So
Yeah.
he conformed.
He's the one that
first
kicked it
one.
off.
I know. I'm just kidding.
We're all playing follow the leader.
We were following Javi.
Yep.
I just wanted to point out real quick that smooth brains on Twitter who think that no action equals bad comic need not be taken seriously. Just putting that out there.
I agree with that. I
Mhm.
know that was a hot take about this issue that not a lot happened, but actually a lot of world building did happen.
A lot of character depth.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
was a character driven issue, in my opinion.
It was an
Oh.
Ultimate Spider-Man issue.
Marcy brings up a good point
No.
that the previews like they really went in like marketing wise on like, look, here's Ultimate Gwen, when I think that
Gwen's
being a
here.
surprise would have been a bit more like there's a whole like half a page dedicated to her entering, and I think that would have been more impactful if we hadn't been spoiled like 3 months in advance.
Well, I mean, they can't help themselves in the marketing department.
I don't think Marvel has a marketing department. I think it's just the intern.
I get all the emails. They still says Marvel publicity. So
What do you guys think of Harry without the cornrows
It's fine.
or the waves?
The waves, yeah.
I mean, the original Ultimate Harry didn't have them,
yeah, I was gonna say.
Mhm.
and it's not something that's carried across in like every form of animation or
Yeah.
video games either. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do, to Neil's comments, like, I do feel like it's an issue of Ultimate Spider-Man. Like, if you look at the original Peter Bendis run, like, you would have these issues of just people talking and not any Spider-Man scenes at all. You've got the Peter and MJ bedroom issue. You've got the Peter talking to Aunt May issue. Like, there's quite a few of them where it's just dialogue and character work stuff. And so I kind of feel like this is just paying tribute. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but it feels like it was paying tribute to some aspects from the original series.
If you're a Hickman fan, you know that Hickman loves his Machiavellian characters dialogue sparring, I like to call it, where they don't fight with lasers, they fight with ideologies. I think that Hickman does a great job of, along with Messina, of framing just like normal everyday things, like picking up glasses, as like big acts and making them mean something. There's a couple pages in here I think are kind of rough art wise, where I think he got pressed for deadlines, but it's not like awful. It's just like, oh, I can tell this was rushed at the last minute.
That's why when I thought about it for just a half second, I'm like, oh wait, no, because there that would be my one critique, is that some of the art wasn't quite. It didn't appeal to me as much as some of the other pages or panels did.
There's some good pages near the end, especially like Peter talking to Harry. Those are some good pages. The last page is pretty good. It kind
of reminds me of I don't know why it reminds me of Spectacular Spider-Man the cartoon specifically, but like the part of him and MJ walking off, I can just make out like the Spider-Man mask, like with the red sky.
I could see that.
Yeah.
The old Ditko Spider-Man.
Yeah, I don't know why I remember it in Spec Spider-Man more than the comics, but I guess that's just my frame of reference.
Well, they did it. Yeah, they did that in Spec for a few episodes.
The whole run,
yeah. Almost every episode had it.
Oh, okay.
Had a variant of it because of that was what Stan and John both did.
John Simper, right? Even with the beard, I can still see your face is getting red, Zach.
I know.
He's seething.
I do want to point out what Marcy said in the comments, that Mayday does not like Jonah, which makes me laugh.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that means he doesn't have kids, because he had John in the 616 and his disposition's still the same. So
I do want to point that like in this universe, anything's a coin toss, because like
that is true.
Peter is in his 30s and Tony's still in his Iron Lad phase. And Howard was
Peter
Iron Man.
Trying to make somewhere Bob Harris is happy because they're making
Peter's 35, I think.
He's in his like mid to late 30s, because he's 15 when the Maker stops him from getting bitten, and that's and the time skip from Ultimate Invasion 1 to 2 is 20 years.
Right.
So
he's like my age.
Yeah.
So how old is Ben then, or Richard, whatever is the kid?
They haven't said. I expect a Hickman data chart to show how old his kids are.
I'm thinking Richard's probably like a teenager and May's like preteen.
I would say
Mayday
14.
I would say Mayday is closer to like 9 or 10.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lowball and say 8.
Yeah.
I can see
I was thinking 8.
My daughter's about to be 9 end of the month.
But I do like that like May just doesn't like Jonah. It's like, Uncle Ben, when's your boyfriend leaving? He scares me.
Which, I mean, look, knowing how gruff and a bit of a jackass that Jonah is, although he can be very sweet, like I can see children being scared of him.
Run, Jonah's here. like the scene from War of the Worlds where they're all running from the tripod.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eskinner's probably got the right ballpark.
Yeah, Marcy says it's worth noting in this universe it's an issue per month. So Peter's been Spidey for 4 months, and not much has happened on that front other than him getting owned by the Shocker.
Yep.
To be fair, there's not really much for him to do. The only thing he's really got is to fight the Kingpin, and that's like something Harry's going to have to facilitate for him.
Right.
He didn't even get to like a halfway familiar Spider-Man costume until
like issue 3.
Yeah.
Which I mean, again, and that's where.
And even then, like by 5, when he caught the burglar, he didn't even have the web lines on it, right?
You talking about the original?
Yeah.
It was issue 4.
Comparing, but 5 is the burglar issue.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he gets it at the end
and
of 4.
I don't think it had web lines on it at that point.
No, he didn't. He doesn't put the web lines until 6. Because that's like when he's leaping over the kids and he's like, big time superhero coming through. That's the first time we see like the full it with everything on it. So, and then the green ass webs because of the weird ass coloring.
So like that respect, we're ahead of the curve because we've already got him in the classic suit.
Yep. Like the full classic suits issue 6. So that's
I think the slow burn is a little overstated because we're getting a Ultimate Spider-Man monthly, so it seems like it's a lot longer when it hasn't really been that long.
I want to say I mentioned this in our text group. A lot of people are like, it's decompressed, and I feel like your mileage may vary on that, but I feel like you got to give Hickman.
I disagree.
What I want to say is, like, I'm not saying that I think it's decompressed. I think, a lot of people are saying that, or, people are, or whatever. Like I said, your mileage may vary on, the pacing of it all, but I think that you got to give Hickman props for essentially doing standalone done one issues 4 times now that you can kind of just pick up and not be totally lost. Each one has its own story going on. It's not part 2 of 3 or whatever. Like this is a month. This is a different month each issue, and it's its own story, and it's connected, but it's
So I got a real quick thing about Gwen. I feel like this is sort of the end point of a Gwen without Peter. Like Peter's kind of, I don't want to say the morality check, but like Gwen being kind of a cutthroat girl boss executive feels like what she would have ended up like if she hadn't died, if that makes sense.
I mean, if she hadn't got a case of the bridges, there's no telling what
I'm probably articulating it wrong.
That just because of the strength of her relationship with her father. Like, I don't think it's just her interaction with Peter that formed her character. Be it the 616 or Earth 65. Like, her and her dad were always pretty tight, and I feel like he was a big influence on her.
I kind of get a feeling
what that status quo is here. I mean, we have no idea.
I'm probably articulating this.
Go ahead.
Go. Okay. I'm probably articulating it poorly. But my point is like this feels like a Gwen without any compass, if for lack of a better word.
As someone that just recently reread our first time through Marvel Team Up, and we meet Jean DeWolf in there, where she becomes a police captain, and her father was a police captain, right? I kind of get the vibe that if Gwen didn't get snapped, crackled, and popped, that she would have probably become a law enforcement or a DA or something along those lines. She would have been like Law and Order. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
She would have been like her as like a forensic scientist.
Yeah, that too. Because she likes science because of one panel.
Yeah.
Radiac brings a good point that there's a meta commentary to them that and I kind of brought this up on I never like bringing up like the crawl space to like slam on it, but I brought it up in the Discord because George was talking about how Gwen bad. But I made the point that the Gwen here is radically different from the one that we have in, Saint Gwen and Gwen 65. But
Praise
like
be,
the foundations are still there, but because of the maker's meddling, they ended up in fundamentally different places. I think that's kind of the interesting part of what Hickman's exploring with them. That Gwen became like this cutthroat girl boss who's money laundering through newspapers. But it's nice to know that my theory that Oscorp took over Stainstark was accurate.
You did nail that. Round of applause for Neil.
There we
Hey,
go.
it works. You did it.
I did it! Yay!
What does mediocre Ashley feel about it?
I
I just now noticed her name change.
was like, everybody's ultimate here, and I can't conform. So, what do I feel specifically about what?
I mean, just in general, I don't feel like I
You
heard
haven't talked much. We want you to jump
beyond
in.
the A.
Yeah.
Are we doing like issue in general, or are we just strictly talking about Harry? What
Abstract.
Abstract.
Both.
It doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter.
Honestly, I don't have much thoughts in my brain. I'm a little bit tired, like if I'm being honest. But
You mentioned to me that you that Harry, you didn't know how you felt about Harry.
yeah, I still don't. Like it's so like, is he going to be like good? Is he bad? Is he kind of forcing Peter into like revealing his secret? Is there like, I don't know. There's a lot of things that I'm not sure if he's a good guy or he's a bad guy yet. And what were you gonna say, Neil?
Oh, you can finish your thought. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. I do like the whole girls travel together to the bathroom and then they still talk about business and whatever else is going on, because that is what we do as females. We travel in packs and then we discuss, things that we don't want to say in front of others usually. Giving away the secrets here.
That's right.
Is this a dating podcast or no? This is I don't even know what it is. Gossip. It's a gossip podcast.
It is.
Yeah,
We're playing Gossip Girl now.
Yeah.
Gossip
Yeah.
Girl Spider-Man.
You've been co-opted, Buckaroo.
Yeah.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed a lot of aspects. I wish there was a little bit more of Uncle Ben and Jonah together in this issue, because I love them. Like, I just love them together so much. So, but yeah, overall, I think it was great. I think it's setting it up for something obviously a lot larger, but I still don't know what Harry's intentions are, and I'm curious to see where that's going to go.
To bounce off that, I have a not a rant, but I kind of wanted to read off a little essay I wrote about Ultimate Spider-Man's themes, and it got popular. It got popular on the Bird app, so that's got to mean something.
Throw it up.
Welcome to Bird Up, the weirdest show on television. Bam, 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 bam. All right, let me pull it up.
I understood that reference.
Holy shit, Zach's seen Eric Andre. I don't know why I sounded surprised by that.
Surprised by what?
That you knew Eric Andre.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
So, Marcy, I'm going to actually get into this a bit, that Gwen is the villain. So, my opening is that a while back, somebody made a point. This for context. Dan from Spider Talk made a point that he doesn't really know what story it's trying to tell. And my response was along the lines of that the book is essentially a wake-up call for the youth, as it were, to democratize power taken from them by those who would consolidate power for no end other than to have/control it for its own end. In that respect, I think Ultimate Spider-Man is twofold in terms of themes, and this ties into what Ashley has said about not really knowing what to think about Harry. The first half of the themes is the idea of power in and of itself. Peter, who both in 616 and in the Ultimate Universe is portrayed as a working class man, either with or without a family, in this universe gets his power stolen by not a higher power, but a malevolent force, and gets it returned to him by kind of that same institution, which has engineered power around itself and created the conflict of the illusion of conflict to distract from their consolidation of that power. A lot of this requires reading Ultimate Invasion number 1 through 4 in the Ultimate Universe one shot. That's kind of required reading for going into this in terms of a more thematic reading of the book.
All available on Marvel Unlimited, I believe.
I wanted to point out that over the course of Ultimate Spider-Man so far, discounting Shocker, who I don't really count as a super, the only real one he's come across is Green Goblin. And I wanted to point that out because Green Goblin is a man born into institutional power that was more or less tolerant of it until it took something from him. So only once it affects him does he become disillusioned by it. The second theme kind of comes into play here, which is mechanisms. Power is broadly in the abstract processed and utilized through socially built mechanisms, and it's one that Peter is buckling right now as Spider-Man, and I think Harry is trying to do the same and is going to fail. If you go back to 2020, Jonathan Hickman wrote a thesis about how in his X-Men, it's a direct thesis of his X-Men run, there were slaves to economic systems and the world is broken, and you can only stand on the backs of others for so long before they rise up, which I believe is a direct parallel to Ultimate Peter, and that he is fighting the institution by getting his power back. And that slave of systems is being challenged by both of them in similar yet different ways because of their class perspectives on the world. And this is directly where I want to not reply. I don't want to say rebuke Ashley, but reply to her on not knowing what to think about Harry. That Peter and Harry will come to blows as the series progresses over whether or not their power and obligations dictate taking their responsibilities further or take them too far in affecting change. Whether that comes from radical action or going well above their punching grade. And as someone who is looking forward to Ultimates, I'm suspecting that this theme will tie into them because they're the book that is centered around taking down Maker's forces at large, whereas the other books, and this one, Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate Black Panther, and Ultimate X-Men, are each focused around localized threats like Kingpin, Ron Khonshu, and Sunfire. And I think the long shot prediction, 12 or so issues down the line, is going to be Harry when he realizes the power that he gets taking Fisk's place. I want everyone to remember that Harry is an institutional power, and if he's offered institutional power, there's a decent chance that he will take it. Power consumes one. Like I said, I discounted Shocker, but given the preview page that we have of issue 5, that has Gwen and Harry directly colluding with Otto Octavius, I get the sense that Gwen and Harry are creating wrenches to toss into the mechanisms using their institutional power, and it's going to backfire and have them run wild because institutional power cannot create the wrenches that destroy itself. And that's about it.
Thanks for coming to Neil's TED Talk.
Yep.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Applause all around.
Once again, the applause button for Mr. Bogenrider. Good job, Neil.
But
See,
Neil, there was no Spider-Man in this issue.
Yeah.
There was Peter Parker.
Yep.
And Peter and Spider-Man are the same character. Wait.
Ah.
That sounds stupid. It sounds like a 14-year-old on Reddit thinking he's smart.
Radiac says to piggyback. English is hard. To piggyback from that, Neil, I think the narrative purpose for MJ and Gwen is that the very reflection of positions of power and how they each support the two characters in conflict, but from the opposite sides.
IbJ has achieved a position of privilege and has been able to use it to avant-garde voices such as Ben and JJJ with the paper, but Gwen may gear up to be the driving force for Harry as bad influence. Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see because a lot of Harry's issues have been traditionally tied to his father, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They still technically are, considering that his entire vendetta against Kingpin is driven entirely by what happened on 7-Eleven and his knowledge of the cabal above the Kingpin being the people who orchestrated that attack.
7-Eleven. Like, why did they pick that date? Like,
they didn't. I made it up.
Yeah, Neil
made that up.
Yeah,
it's diet. It's diet.
You
It's
said
diet.
it to go off, and I thought that's
exactly.
actually when it happened.
Sometimes that's the thing. Like when
Neil does that so often.
This is the problem because when you say it with such conviction, even if you're joking, then eventually people will.
Because I never
think
really
that's
read
true.
it. I glanced over it, so.
Kind of like everybody referring to Chasm as Baja Blast, and that's
I was gonna say, I guarantee you, there's people think he actually is called Baja Blast now because of Neil constantly calling him that.
Like, for as cringy as I am, for whatever reason, I have the uncanny ability to make people make phrases that people latch on to. Like, I don't think I invented Gamer Man,
Baja Blast,
Abrams Man.
Abrams Man. We kind of came up with together, like as a group.
Yeah,
Abrams Man.
7-Eleven, I guess.
Still the worst miniseries of the 2010s.
And Escanor brings up a good point. So if anyone here has read the previews for Ultimates, the implication is that just giving the heroes back their power is going to blow up in their face. And this is coming from Tony, who is, even though he's a terrorist rebel right now, still comes from a position of influence.
Right,
He was born to wealth under Howard and got the Iron Man technology from him. If you look in the previews, Hawkeye basically does the Spider-Man No More thing, tosses his arrows in the trash can and walks away, and Captain Marvel just explodes. So,
damn,
as you do.
So I think that Escanor is correct that using institutional power to try and topple institutional power does not always end well.
Zach.
Bad Venkman.
Escanor and I are on the same page. I think that they're gonna kill Kingpin, or Harry's gonna kill Kingpin, and then he's gonna be offered Kingpin's place or higher, because I think Kingpin is kind of filling in the void that Howard and Obadiah left in Ultimate Invasion.
Mm.
Yeah. And Kingpin's sort of like the guy who's left to fill the void temporarily until they can find a guy. And then Harry's going to be the guy that they get to actually do it. And I think that's where he and Peter are going to come to blows. Yeah, Baja Blast is his real name. Oh, I love my influence on this community.
Benjamin Blast.
Benjamin Baja Blast Biley.
Oh, what a friend we have in Jesus. I really fucking hate it.
I did at one point.
No, I don't hate Jesus. I hate Ben Reilly's 27th clone.
Yeah.
See,
like I'm telling you, man, you just have to remember it's not Ben Reilly.
I mean, I went on a whole
just
rant.
Like Ben Reilly.
It's Ren Biley.
No, I saw. I was gonna text you. I'm like, no, it's been a week and he's okay. I think, kind of.
It reminds me a lot of like in a D&D game when like the character Ben Reilly dies and you lose the character. You bring a new one. His name is Shen Reilly, his brother.
Right.
There was
Santa's Little Helper 2.
The Emerald Elf.
What were you saying, Josh?
That thing in WandaVision where Vision and White Vision are talking about how your replace a piece of the boat over and over again.
Vision Blanco.
Yeah.
That basically that with Ben Reilly at this point.
Queso Vision.
I think Vision Blanco was funnier.
Blanco Queso Vision. Combine the two. No. Okay.
Chipotle Vision.
Well, in that case, that was for me. Epic.
I was on your side, Zach.
An
I know
ultimate
it's fine.
fail.
Ultimate fail.
I thought you were in like a Ben 10 transformation. Ultimate failure. Yes.
So besides, I mean, for me, like it was just a little ding on some of the art. Like some of the faces looked a little mushy sometimes, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Like what for you guys? What kept it from being an A+ for you then? I mean, we're splitting hairs because we're all giving it an A, but
you and I had the same issue with art with a couple of pages that were rushed to deadline.
I agree. The artwork is a little muddy. Look, the
I mean, the layouts were great.
The layout, yeah. Some of there's good storytelling.
This is very cinematic. I am going to be interested to read this as an Infinity comic on the app. Because they've already, this is like one of the variant covers they have up on Marvel.
Well, that's just the one that they have for the app.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. I tried reading the first issue. I thought it was really weird.
Okay, can anyone explain to me Hickman's hard-on for damage control? Every single book he writes, there's something about damage control in there.
What?
Awesome.
Or in the book, in one of the Tom King 9-panel grids, MJ makes a point that she's on retainer as PR manager for damage control.
Oh yeah.
And in House of X #1, he lists damage control as the people who hold the place where Orcus is making the mother mold. Somewhere in Avengers, I think was with the damage control was a facilitator of the time travel arc. And I think they show up all over the place in Secret Warriors and Fantastic Four. So I think Hickman just likes the idea of damage control as a friendly front-facing organization with like shady backdoor dealings.
Yeah,
I mean they're just like a known entity because I mean
like...
even if you've only seen the movies, like well I heard them mention damage control in Spider-Man Homecoming.
Right.
This might just be me, like my Hickman brain.
Yeah, your Hickman brain's going into overdrive there, buddy.
To go off what Neil said, though, they do use that as an episode in the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon. But they do have damage control in it as like a money laundering shady front.
For Shield, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, damage control like in the 616 was just the cleanup crew. That's all they were. Just
they don't. That's what I'm saying is that Hickman has built them to be more than just the cleanup guys.
Because I don't think have they not really been used that much? I know there have been a couple mini series that they've done.
They just did one. I think they just did one.
Yeah, it feels like they're not being used that much, except for like the odd mini series now over the past couple years. So
I do think this is me just like looking at something going.
And they did a mini series in 2022. What the?
That's what I just said.
I didn't. Okay, I thought you were just joking, but no.
Oh
yeah, I think the first issue came out on 7-Eleven.
Esker makes a good point that Maker's archive was also called Damage Control, the one that he broke out of in Ultimate Invasion.
Dwayne McDuffie is the one that created it with Ernie Colon.
I've been the Ben 10 thing keeps coming around because I've been rewatching Ben 10 and Dwayne McDuffie was the showrunner for the Alien Force Ultimate period. Yeah. Everything keeps connecting.
We ended up talking about the McDuffies in that Spider-Girl Infinity comic that was really bad. I'll make my Mayday.
Oh yeah. Radiac says I'm on Neil's wavelength that I would not put it past Hickman with what his thesis is for Ultimate Universe. They may become prominent in the Ultimates book as a standard for the military-industrial complex. Not an incorrect position to take, I think.
Which spiritually, I mean, given what the original Ultimates comics,
which were a standard for the post 9/11 hysteria / military-industrial complex. Though, depending on your wavelength of Millar, it's either genius satire or Team America World Police, but not funny.
America. Oh, yeah. One of the greatest theme songs of all time. It's one of my favorites.
But I think Radiac and Escanor are like on point. They're our MVPs for the chat tonight. Their analysis is spot on.
We got Vinkman and Marcy in there throwing some and Nick, Baja Web Shooters over here. What's up, Nick?
Sorry, I forgot to bring in Marcy and Vigman. Y'all doing great tonight. I'm glad that one of my main concerns is that like people are brain damaged by Amazing Spider-Man, so they can't understand when actual subtext is put in front of them. But I'm very glad to see that our audience is
can think.
I was going to say something that doesn't sound mean. That they're able to ingest, analyze, and critically determine. Zach, is that
Zach?
You?
Was that me?
Oh, it was me.
God damn it, Ashley.
Sorry.
She was sharing something.
I am very glad that we have cultivated an audience that is capable of critical thinking, even though our main output is slop. Because
that's good because I'm not. Someone else is doing. That's good. Someone else can do it. No, I can.
But by the way, a lot of Strange says that you're ultimate to me, Ashley. I don't know.
I love you.
Minkman is here for the free food.
There's free food.
There's food.
Listen, no. Well, there was my brisket mac and cheese, but I ate that. So
I got a
brisket mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Where'd you get the brisket mac and cheese?
HEB.
Oh, I've had that, and it is good. It is very good.
Yep.
What?
Okay. So what I kind of want to, I want to do like a little thought experiment.
Oh, I figured you'd say that.
No, I'm sorry, Adam.
Well, before you get to that,
I read your mind.
Like Zach or. Sorry, Josh. We haven't heard from you in a while. Like, was there anything?
Yeah, Josh and Ashley need to
kept it from perfection.
Honestly, the one thing I really don't like is the knuckle lines that is being drawn. It's my one quabble with it. Just like this on your finger.
Right. Yeah.
The way it's drawn on there, it just makes it look like everyone's got old man hands. But other than that, I didn't really have too much. I mean, I like Spider-Man action, but it didn't ruin the comic for me.
My arthritis is acting up.
I think
he's got carpal tunnel because he shoots guns.
Oh, my hand!
Listen, my grandmother had carpal tunnel and had to get disability for it. So,
Zach, why are you eating the camera?
Because I can.
Okay.
That was the most oddly specific thing ever, Josh, that I think someone has said.
Marcy had a good thought that the gulag that Harry sent Bullseye to was Gwen's idea. Oh, I didn't think about that.
I get a lot of this. Okay.
Like I said, Hickman loves his Machiavellia.
Gwen's the master planner instead of Doc Ock.
So I got a question about the artwork. Does this not give you guys Terry Dodson vibes?
Maybe a little. Maybe a little. Now you say it, maybe a little, but I'm
not saying it's like Terry Dodson, but I'm getting the Terry Dodson vibe.
I can see why you would say that.
I get the aesthetic of like his time on X-Men, where he had, I don't remember the colorist. I think it was Delgado, but it's not like his Marvel Knights run where the colors are really washed out.
Yeah,
it reminds me a lot more of his time on Fractions X-Men.
I can see that. The big man. That's the big woman, not the big man to you, sir.
Okay.
No, see, but that's the twist. The big man is really the big woman. That's how
she wears
the big man is a woman.
Wearing the pants.
Didn't that happen in Spencer's run, or was that the Sun that was big man?
That was the Sun, I think.
The big man,
Foswell's
nephew,
or
Foswell's daughter was the second big man.
Right, that's what I'm thinking of. Because I think that was referenced in the Spencer arc.
Yes,
that was from Marvel Team Up, I believe. I haven't read it, but I perused it once.
It was Marvel Team Ups. Yeah.
Eskiner, before we move on, because I think Javi had something to say. Eskiner brings up a very good point.
That was good.
that cross-referencing this book with the other Ultimate books is going to be very important. I know we kind of want to pretend that Ultimate Spider-Man is kind of self-contained in a vacuum, but the truth is, and I know this is going to be something that I know a lot of people are going to be upset to hear, and not necessarily in this chat, but on the internet broadly, this is a shared universe.
Oh yeah.
Whatever happens in Black Panther and X-Men and Ultimates might not affect ASM on a macro level, but the bigger picture of fixing the world is going to come to impact Spider-Man's world. And we even kind of have a taste of that coming in issue 7, where it specifically says Tony's going to come in after 6 months to check in on Peter and say, "Hey man, you want to join the Schizo Squad? Want to abandon your wife and join the Resistance?"
I wanted to ask you this, Neil, actually, now that I'm thinking of it, because I think you would know. I'm pretty sure I read a solicit for, or I don't know, it was the press release or something for just this. It was a recent thing for this new universe. Like there was or maybe Tony said it at some point. They have like 2 years to basically save this universe, right?
Yeah,
or something like that.
The premise of Ultimates is that when the Maker locked himself inside the city, I think it was for like 2 years, because that's however long a cycle for the city is to, I guess, diagnose its security flaws. But basically, the Ultimates have essentially 2 years in universe time, which I suspect will run parallel to Ultimate.
Yes.
To gather all their heroes, depose the Maker's cabal, and basically fix the world. So you're on point with that.
Right. So I wonder, because like, I've thought a lot about like, well, how long is the series going to last? Like, and I wonder, I feel like, the result of the 2-year thing, I guess I wonder that'll be like either they quit while they're ahead with the universe, or sales are so good that maybe we start seeing like a more sort of familiar-ish take on some of these characters. I think if like the universe gets fixed and now they're villains and they're heroes and all that.
I think what would be interesting is you and I have kind of come to the same conclusion on the Crawlspace Discord that whenever that smug motherfucker, the Maker, comes strolling out of his city, there's going to be like some kind of crossover event with all the titles.
Yeah,
and it's probably going to be in 2 years, because that's how Ultimate Spider-Man has kind of framed itself. So like issue 24,
and then the 25th issue being like double sized.
Big crossover.
Big schlong Reed Richards comes strolling out of his mushroom in Latveria.
Why do we know how big a schlong is?
Because of his head. Jesus Christ. You don't think that dome's covering something?
Oh my god.
On his brain.
Well,
it's like the Richards. It's like not Richards, but Dick.
Dicks instead of Richards.
But there's the 2 years to change the world thing. If the Ultimate Universe does continue after that, it's going to be like, okay, we saved the world.
Now what?
Now what do we do?
And I would assume that if the sales are still good, then we'll kind of get maybe a little more of a familiar thing, but not totally, because this world is still radically different than a lot of the others.
Marcy brings up that Ultimates implies that they met Panther already. Do we want to talk about what came out on Bleeding Cool?
No.
Okay.
No.
I don't know what it is.
So, real quick,
I don't want to get spoiled.
It's from the free comic book day issue. So,
okay.
Which is coming out on Saturday.
Real quick, does X-Men and Black Panther, like Ultimate X-Men and Ultimate Black Panther, do they both also follow the same once a month and real time?
I don't know about X-Men, but Black Panther I don't think does.
Okay.
If Schlong's so big, why Sue leave him?
Because he went.
Because he was an asshole.
Because he was too obsessed with being the Maker.
And
he was too obsessed with making
babies.
He couldn't
he wanted to make robots instead of bitches.
He couldn't make her wet like Namor could.
Oh my
god!
Sorry.
Wow.
I was right there. I'm sorry.
Listen, okay, I'm gonna back up Josh on this one.
Quiet the whole show just to drop that bomb.
And to be fair,
Luckily,
I don't think she wanted to see any water after Ultimatum.
Ooh. Man, that took a turn that I did not expect. I was going to bring up a point about this issue that I
go ahead.
I kind of wanted to touch on Marcy's, like, Tony shows up and goes and sees like a green guy wearing Iron Man armor. Who the fuck is that?
Yeah. I'm supposed to be your friend.
You're supposed to join the Schizo Squad.
You're supposed to be my friend, not that guy's friend. What the fuck?
It's funny because usually it's Tony who's the older one and Peter's like the young impressionable go-getter trying to yuppie up to Daddy Stark.
Well, at least in
the comics,
in the MCU,
in the MCU.
Sorry,
but usually Iron Man is the older guy and Peter's the younger one. I find that relationship is going to be interesting when Peter sees a time vortex coming in, like this teenager just wanders out and goes, "Hey man." Peter goes, "Who the hell are you? Go away." Someone talked about like what if 6160 Peter and 1610 Peter met and how they would get along. It's like they wouldn't. Original Ultimate Peter would drive new Ultimate Peter up the wall.
Yeah, he would be throwing him off. He'd be throwing him off the bridge.
Jeez.
So
bridges today.
I don't know. It's because Gwyn showed up.
Yeah, I guess.
That's true.
Sorry, Javi. I know you're a Gwen stan.
Many bridges in our future.
My point. What I like about this issue, though, is I like how Peter still acts like the everyman and still is being positioned as the everyman against this like levers of power that Neil is so eloquently gone into. Like it doesn't feel like he's the fish out of water just yet, but it's going to be really interesting as this progresses to see how uncomfortable he's going to be. And, if he goes and dons his own cloth suit or something like that in the future.
Right. I do like, I need to find this. I like how he's still like, I don't know if I really want to do this.
Yeah.
Like Harry's really trying to whisper into his ear going, hey man, want to do terrorism? Sounds great, huh?
I do like the use of the 9-panel grids though. I think especially
a Tom King page, run.
Well, I mean,
before
Tom King, it was
it's been
Alan Moore, yeah.
Well,
Alan Moore
Ditko
used it a lot.
It's a comic thing, like it's comic storytelling.
Wow. Osborne Thirst.
Vinkman with a super chat says, if we're making jokes like that Namor one, then he gives this episode 5
hogs.
5 eggplant emoji.
Eggplants.
Thanks. Oh, Eskiner makes a good point that it's Armored Adventures, Tony.
Oh. Yeah. Be sure to leave any more super chats. We'll throw them up. They get priority.
Okay, so what I like when Peter and Harry have the conversation and Harry's like, oh, save, well, Peter's like, what are we doing? And Harry's like, oh, save the world. And Peter's like, I feel like I'm doing something I'm good at and I like doing it. It feels right, but I don't know about this saving the world thing. And we're seeing like that whole like, oh, I don't know if I want to join the Fantastic Four, I want to join the Avengers, but I don't know about this, that kind of classic loner friendly neighborhood Spider-Man thing. It's
Fantastic Four and all that stuff, it doesn't exist yet, does it? If they're just now getting their powers and things back.
There's
the Fantastic Four will not exist as we know them, right, Neil?
Yeah.
Because
sorry,
I think
wait.
They all blew up. Yeah, the Fantastic Four, except for Reed, I think, are all dead.
Yeah, because Reed is a guy in the Doom mask because the Maker's a petty little bitch.
Yeah.
He is.
But anyway, I like Peter questioning the whole thing. It feels very human.
No, I think that's a good observation, Adam. That we've gotten so used to Spider-Man being in the Avengers since like the Bendis New Avengers run that having him question what he's doing, like it, even though it's under the Ultimate banner, it feels very classic. Like we have like a classic Peter Parker again.
By the way, we've mentioned that before, how this is all very new and different, but it just has this.
It just has like the right feel.
Yeah.
Marcy brings up a good point that Peter is kind of like Miguel, but not as big of an asshole.
Yeah.
And in that Peter knows there's something wrong. It's a bit above his pay grade. It's a bit too abstract for one guy to do anything about.
Yeah.
But I suspect once he fights Kingpin and gets his shit kicked in for the first time, he's going to realize, okay, I can focus on this thing and let the Schizo Squad deal with the big picture stuff. But I'll just do something because I can and I have to.
Why are they the Schizo Squad?
I don't know. I just think it's funny to call them that.
It's another thing he made up.
Give it a month, everyone will be referring to them as that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw up the covers up on the screen for those that have not seen them. Got this.
It looks like a
variant
rainy
here.
suit.
It does.
The eyes.
Are we looking at
And
fingers
then, like,
still, or?
Okay.
And then I saw this one in the wild, actually.
Oh, this is the cover that made me think that Gwen was a politician with a sex scandal to cover up.
I thought Peter kind of looks like the Wolfman in that.
Hang on, go back up.
He does kind of Wolfman Jack.
I like the background on it though, with the
Oh, that's a good MJ
stuff.
Oh, I didn't even notice that it had their shadows in the background.
Yeah, I like
that.
it.
Good catch.
That's peak. That's like peak Romita vibes.
Well done, Ash. I didn't notice that at all. Like literally. And then we got just hanging out.
Is that Pacelli?
No, I think is that the Sanford Green one?
I think it's the Sanford Green one. Yeah.
Buy 2 for 2 sale.
That's
Torque,
cool.
the goat.
Yeah, that's the with the trade
Pancakes or
dressing with the-
potatoes? What is that?
Pancakes, I believe.
It's wheat cakes. It wouldn't be pancakes because that's not
Well,
what you're
Hang on, did May pass down the wheat cakes recipe before she got 7-Eleven?
These are the questions we must.
Oh, she got hit at the gas
know.
station?
We need to know.
Dang.
I mean, the satellite probably took one of them out.
We need a Hickman chart for the pancakes.
Yo,
wheat
the
cake.
7-Eleven casualty list data page coming soon, baby.
Oh my gosh.
Need a new wheat cake recipe.
For obvious, like I regret my life decisions today.
Whatever led up to this moment, I hate it all.
I'm with Javi.
Ooh.
What were you saying, Adam?
What was I saying? I don't know. Wheat cake recipes, Hickman charts for wheat cake recipes.
Yeah.
And Baja Blast.
Wheat cakes and Baja Blast.
I thought they published a wheat cakes recipe.
They
It's
did.
in
It's
Untold
the-
Tales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Untold Tales Annual 1996.
Oh,
There is a Marvel cookbook from the 70s.
they're the
Also a Marvel
schizo.
workout book.
They're the
Yeah,
schizo
there's that
squad
too.
because Tony Reed are gaslighting them into thinking the world can be better.
Damn.
Ah!
Ouch.
Super Delulu.
Yes, Kamala, you can get fun powers if you join my team. Oh, that has bad connotations for Kamala.
Oh, man.
Oh, I'm dropping
no.
that. Oh,
It's Asian
oh,
American
no.
Pacific Islander
This is
Heritage
not-
Month again.
Not for AAPI again.
Ugh.
Oh, not for AAPI month.
That took a massive turn.
I know Eskiner
That I am
didn't think
very
about that.
uncomfortable
Or I don't think Eskiner thought about it in that connotation.
That's 7-Eleven.
Oh man.
The circle.
Oh.
The circle. Ah!
Oh,
I think it's that time of the night where everybody's tired and getting a little loopy. So
Yep.
And craving Slurpees for some unknown reason.
Oh, they are open
Bless you.
24/7. So
And Zach died.
Which is ironic considering where they started.
where did they start?
7 to 11.
Oh,
Hence.
I love Zach's just like Tim Allen Home Improvement face.
bum, 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 ba-da-da, da-da-da.
Oh man.
I love that show. Oh man.
That sounded really depressing. I love that show.
Oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven.
Man.
Added unintentional hilarity that we didn't expect. Only terrorism can be funny if it's done in a context with a gas station.
What?
What?
I don't know.
7-Eleven blows up. That's hilarious.
Oh, it's a Seinfeld episode. Oh man.
What's the deal with international terrorism?
So Zach, when is Hasbro making a Marvel Legends Ultimate Spider-Man?
I bet you it comes out either later this year or probably early next. It will probably be it'll probably be actually the Spider-Man that's in the wave that is they'll probably announce it this fall and it'll come out in like January, February. I will bet 5. Bet
You got
$5.
5 on it?
I got $5 because it takes about a year for them to design it, get it, get all everything approved via Marvel, and then it actually ship. So it takes about 9 months for them to get a working prototype.
Plot twist, it's just the black suit.
It's just like what? It's just like
It's
the
a
black
reco-
suit.
what if we took this hoodie off and all the accessories and
Yeah.
just made it?
Yeah.
And
It's a
it's
reco-
like,
Man.
you get a bearded, but you get a bearded Peter
The
head.
alternate
Yeah.
They
beard
already
spot.
made it.
yeah.
There's already a bearded Peter head too, so they'll be able to reuse that head.
Oh.
Yes,
Yeah.
my favorite man.
What Peter had the bearded head?
It was from the it was the head swap with the Captain Universe because
Captain
of the
Universe.
fact that he had the
Oh.
beard with the Captain Universe. and
From
Spider-Man.
was
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was it the Earth 13 version from Spider-Verse?
Yeah.
Because they had the non-Spider-Man Captain Universe, the Captain Universe Spider-Man, and then the unmasked Peter head.
Then that's right.
So two new comments. Marcy brings up a point that like maybe he gave villains powers. I think that it's Gwen and Harry who are making the villains by accident. Like they're just making whoever they can to toss at Kingpin and hoping they can break him, and then they just go wild and they lose control of them.
It's like a bizarro, spectacular Spider-Man Norman Osborn situation.
Oh yeah, where he's like manufacturing villains to fight Spider-Man, but
It's also very similar considering how much Oscorp made the villains in Ultimate too, the original Ultimate.
Yeah. And then Eskenar with the comedy. So we agree that Tony and the gang cannot clear in a 7-Eleven as a base, right?
It's underground.
It's underground, like
It's under the 7-Eleven.
there's a button that's pressed under the counter and then the doors open.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta
That's
say,
damn
guys, I'm really looking forward to Ultimates. Like I've said it before that I'm really looking forward to that book, but knowing it's the 20th Century Men guy doing the art and like the promise of one and dones,
Right.
like we're back to peak comics, boys and girl.
Will the Ultimate Universe save comics and Marvel
Again?
20 years later?
Oh,
Okay,
Mercy
Tevye.
brings up that Kane might have had a beard in the
I was
carrying
thinking about
virus.
that.
They did
that.
reuse it and made it to where he had zombie eyes for reasons.
7-Eleven base would be legit.
Get you
Okay, I kind of
when
headcanon
the
this.
doors open is you get a certain like combination of Slurpee.
Yeah.
And then they could sit there and do a cross promotional thing where it's just like
eating taquitos and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see Teen Tony wander in like as like Captain America is like going, "Where America?" and he's just got like a bag of taquitos and cheese dip.
Javi's like, I regret making the Slurpee joke right now.
You gotta go all in. Just all in this.
If Tony's place blew up and Harry has the specs, couldn't he have some of Tony's hero list? Oh yeah, because Maker or Howard had access to all of Maker's files on who was missing when he was making the Immortus engine, and now that Stain Stark has been acquired by Oscorp, that's not a bad theory. Like Harry's trying to be the Ultimates light, diet Ultimates. It's just him and Peter.
Ultimates zero.
So
it's just like this. It's just the same 5 jokes over and over again, but I love it.
Well, Taco Bell has Baja Blast. To be fair,
Doesn't wait, hang on? Don't Zach.
It's bottled now.
Yeah,
it's
it
bottled.
is.
You can
That's
go
true.
pick it up at 7-Eleven.
Zach, do you have
used
quick
to
times
be,
over in your neck of the woods, or is that just where I live thing?
Not
The
the
convenience
most everything
stores.
over here is local owned and or 7-Eleven.
Okay, because I'm thinking I know I think the QuickTime convenience store, they have Baja Blast slushies.
Yeah, they made a deal.
Tony's secret base is a 7-Eleven while Osborn's hanging out at Five Guys.
There have been at least 5. There have been at least 5 guys that have been the Goblin.
The gathering of Five Guys.
Technically, one of those was a genetically altered construct that they couldn't say.
Norman, Harry, Bart Hamilton, that
Phil.
one dude from that one 90s thing that we never found out.
Bill Urick.
Y'all are missing
Bill
the forest for the
Urick,
trees. It's the gathering of Five Guys.
No,
Peter Parker.
No, I'm saying the guy from the 90s, like you're talking about Spider Hunt and all that stuff, Javi. That was
Goblins at the was it Goblins at the Gate?
Yeah, that was supposed to be Phil Urick. But then they changed. Then they changed it to like just a blank ass clone that wasn't called a clone. That's what happened. Like he melted in front of Peter.
Yeah.
I do think people who are complaining that Iron Man is showing up in Ultimate Spider-Man, I think they forgot the first issue where Hickman said that was going to happen.
Right.
Wow, the thing Hickman said was going to happen is going to happen.
I mean, those are the same people that complained about the first issue, though. So,
Tony bad. Oh.
Jorge.
I don't know why. I don't know why I sounded like
it's like.
Crash
But honestly, will Tony become Kang in this universe?
I mean, that's the implication of Invasion number 4.
I mean, somewhere Bob Harris is like, "See,
we
the crossing is a good
We don't
story.
talk about the crossing.
See, the crossing can be a good story. Damn it! It's the 90s all over again." Teen Tony.
Oh, Venkman wasn't just making a Five Guy. Oh, he was making a joke about his time in Dark Avengers. Where he has Victoria Hand send someone to get Five Guys burgers and fries.
Right.
I thought he was making a Gathering of 5 joke.
I mean, both kind of work.
It could work.
Yeah, you
Of
just
course,
have
every time I see the phrase Five Guys, I see the meme of
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah. This doesn't taste like Five Guys.
It's like, damn, this episode went to some dark places.
Yeah.
Oh my god! See, past the time.
This is what happens when you have
evolved into shit posting.
This is why people don't. This is apparently why people don't like comics, where it's just people sitting around talking and eating. I guess I don't know.
It's like what, if I wanted to see people sit around and eat, I could just watch a Twitch streamer.
Listen, I mean, look, if you felt like you've gotten your money's worth in the comment section down below. Let us know. I kind of feel like, though, we're kind of getting to a point where we're kind of talking in circles a little bit. So I was going to.
Yeah, but I'm having fun.
Yeah, I know. You've gotten your second win now that you're no longer confined to a metal tube.
Oh,
we need context for that one.
That tweet that text I sent to the group, like, I'm slowly becoming more of a communist the longer I'm trapped in this fucking metal tube. Oh, Javi, you want a refund? Why are you here?
Javi's like, I'm changing my grade to an F for food.
Damn, Javi, that hurts. Oh, my heart hurts right now.
Harry's Diet Ultimates, Thin Ock, Muscular Tailless Scorpion, Peter, and an actual cat called Felicia, according to the J. Scott Campbell cover. Coming soon.
Thanks, I hate it.
Was it Ultimate 6?
All of these are being trademarked by Marvel as we speak.
And Gwen with a gun.
You're going to see these
the first
action figures in a couple years.
MJ packing heat in Marvel Knights.
Yeah.
She wasn't just back in Heat Marvel Knights. She was back in Heat in the 90s.
Yeah.
Ultimate Use making things fun again. Comics are healing.
We are being healed by Ultimate Comics. I want you to touch the screen right now. Put your hand
no, that shit hurts. Can you see that, my brother?
I want you to feel the healing.
The healing touch of, oh god, 100-degree screen.
Javi just brings up a good point in the chat.
If MJ is a superhero's jackpot, does that make new Spider Gwen?
I was going to, but I'm thinking
non-Spider Gwen, but yeah.
It's like, are we going to like MJ as a superhero if it's in this?
No. Well, and I wrote in my essay the appeal of Spider-Man is working class man. One of the main problems of 616 is that all of his supporting cast is either gone or are superheroes themselves. There's no characters for Peter to reflect upon.
Given that they were eating at a club or like a
that was not a club. That was
it's a fancy restaurant,
like a fancy restaurant / like country club type place.
Harry's like, the people here are terrible, but I eat here once a week.
Yeah, and so he probably just has like put it on my tab and then he pays.
Do you think this is one of the makers' fronts?
Who knows?
Because I made a point that Harry is like an institutional power, like he's old money, I guess, relative in the terms of class.
Sure.
So it's possible that this restaurant was owned by the maker, or not the maker himself, but like his cabal.
Oh, what do we think of the name of the paper?
The paper?
I like it. I like it better than The Truth. We were thinking it might be The Truth. Neil was thinking that. We were kind of talking about this.
Ashley, your designer brain started getting the what were you thinking?
I mean, I like it, but also I feel like it's some shit that like kids on like TikTok or whatever decided that they were going to make, and then they're like, we're gonna make this a thing now. And
Jonah doing TikTok dances. I want to see Jonah do a TikTok dance.
I would like that, but I mean, it feels like for them being behind it, it feels like the name is so modern, and like a kid was like, this is gonna be super edgy and cool.
God damn it, Neil, what the
I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but that's
keep
what
going,
I feel
keep
like
going,
it
buddy.
is.
No. Dude, keep going. Why'd you stop?
It's just the two cute old guys behind it. This edgy edgelord name.
Yeah, it'll be that freaking Dasha song.
It's where they get to write their fanfic together.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Like they get someone to edit it. Why is this so smutty?
Oh man, TikToks to get 1 million to spread the truth of the world.
It would work. It would work. New age.
Damn, Neil, what Bob? Blast us to a man. Our Messiah has been prophesized according to the charts he has received.
Oh, yeah, Eskiner brings up a good point that the paper is fine, especially because I don't think there's a whole lot of media in this weird dystopia.
Yeah, but it's paper without the E.
No, it's not.
I thought
Jonah
it
was like, I like that it's not that for the trademark and everything. Like he because he wasn't sure about the name, and Ben was like, "Oh well, Mary Jane said it was meta, and it is." And Jonah was like, "Well, yeah, at least it's not PAPR, like a modern."
That's not
Jonah
that he die of embarrassment. Yeah,
Jonah does a news broadcast with Subway Surfers gameplay on the bottom.
The maker today came out with something new. That blasted Kingpin.
sorry, Javi, I didn't mean to yell in your ears.
It's okay.
Javi took his earbuds out a while ago.
His eardrums are blown.
Javi's just sitting there, just like casually reading. Like, I'm so done. I'm ready for this episode.
Between the first 2 minutes where we blew out his eardrums with us screaming,
I
think
think
his
you
eardrums.
Us?
Yeah.
What is this weed?
Only Neil.
It's all
Only
you, buddy.
Neil.
What is this? Us?
Only Neil. Only Neil.
Only
Josh
Neil.
is just there in his
Do
nice
not
little
include us
corner
in
of
that.
Canada,
Yeah.
you know, polite.
A.
Eh?
Yeah. That was actually my grade was EH.
Eh. All right.
I did like when Richard was like, "Oh, people need to read more." See, this book is just filled with nice little character moments.
It is cute.
I like that we got more of Richard, and I like we got more of MJ because that's like something that I've been like wanting to see more of. And we got to see both of those characters have their kind of moment, whereas Mayday didn't have that moment in this issue, but she had it really last issue. Yeah, May. It's not Mayday. I'm sorry.
Does this kid have friends?
No. He's a Parker.
Well,
He's a Parker who reads and would rather do that than watch TV.
That's that.
It's
Yeah.
super cute though. Like
Yeah.
he has that like old man like mentality, and I love that for him.
Thanks,
like,
Mom
does he
and Dad.
watch the weather? Like, I love it.
he watches
Right.
the Weather Channel.
He's watching the weather.
Seriously.
Hey, don't be dissing people watching the Weather Channel as children.
I'm not, but I think it's so cute. Like
Yeah.
that's what
Like
my
when-
son does. So
like
I love it.
Richard's 15th birthday. Gee, Mom and Dad, milk and crackers. You're the best.
Just to punish him, they have to like send him out to a party.
The apple doesn't fall.
Give him a bag
Down the
of
damn
Sour
book.
Patch Kids.
You're gonna go to the party with kegs.
Meanwhile, like May, when she gets to be a teenager, she's gonna be like the actual social butterfly. Meanwhile, her brother's just like,
Leave me alone. I'm reading my fucking book.
he's gonna be the one that's like, I learned to code, and he's gonna be a billionaire.
While you were out partying, I studied the blade.
Yeah.
You're just jealous because I talk. I actually have a social life and you don't.
Because you chat with hot babes online. Is that
Single milfs in your area.
That on its head, but yes, you're just jealous, Napoleon, that I just talked to babes on the internet.
you had to finish it.
Look, May, I'm talking to hot single milfs in my area.
Whoa. Dude, now my Facebook feed's gonna be full of that shit again. I just got it.
Again?
It never went away.
We don't need to talk about your invites, Zach. That we all
Listen,
saw.
dude.
No, we don't need to talk about that at all. No.
Anyway, moving on. So, we got any more things to say about this book? We're an hour and a half in.
Yeah, it's good. Go read it.
Yeah.
It's good. Go read it.
We covered Harry in the Great Power and Great Responsibility speech.
Oh,
Not
we did not.
necessarily.
No.
We kind of touched upon it. What do we think about that? That is very interesting. I don't know how to
you
feel.
scamp.
Yeah, lately it's been changed. It's not always Uncle Ben saying it. Like in No Way Home, Aunt May said it. Now we have Harry saying it.
It's going to be more ironic now that Harry says it if things kind of progress the way we think too. Like,
Mhm.
Does that foreshadow his death?
Right. Yeah.
Ooh,
hmm.
that's
Peter,
a good thought.
Does
Peter,
Harry
take
become
my
a
hand.
martyr?
Or
As long as
trip
Uncle
to
Ben
Europe.
didn't say it, I don't care.
Or a trip to Europe. Yeah. As we talk about in a future slot symposium, a trip to Europe with Mysterio. God, I hate that. I hate those two issues still.
I wanted to.
Those two issues.
I think that
That is the
no,
largest.
I don't think. I forgot how to think.
Well, we knew that just based on the fact that you flying in.
I fumbled halfway through the recap.
like Javi had to,
Bail me out.
Hell yeah. We should have had just Javi do the whole recap, but you're like, I want to do the recap, and then you're just like self-destruct.
He had the zoomies after being stuck on a plane. That's what it was.
Like, hey, can I get more of that recap?
Yeah.
Well, what is it going to mean for this Peter to have someone who potentially goes to the dark side, give him that, critical bit of life lesson that, he bases Spider-Man on? Because he doesn't really have the tragedy that inspired him. So
it's a collective tragedy, not a personal.
Yeah.
The tragedy was that his life was stolen from him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's his responsibility.
Well, I mean, on May.
Well, I'm talking more about like the tragedy was that he got his life stolen from him in the broad sense by the Maker, and now it's his responsibility to use his power to, I guess, fix the world. Maybe not at a macro level like the Ultimates, but do what he can.
But to counter that, like the life that we know as the 616 got stolen, but this life gave him a wife and 2 kids and an uncle and what seems to be a decently paying job. Like, it doesn't look like the Parkers are hurting for money at this moment.
Struggling, yeah.
Well, I don't think the tragedy is like, oh, he's got money now, but more like, the joy and the purpose he got from being Spider-Man was stolen from him. That, I think, is the tragedy of it, is that Peter, despite the tragedy of Peter's life as a result of being Spider-Man, there's still purpose and joy to be taken from it. And even if bad things happened, it's you're robbing someone of what could have been. Even if it is bad. It's one of those life comes with good and bad things kind of vibes.
But assuming that we see like a fall of Harry Osborn, are we going to get an arc where Peter's like, he gave me this valuable advice, and he's like, forget it. Like, what was it all for? And then we get
Spider-Man No More.
Spider-Man No More arc.
Peter looks at Harry and goes, Green Goblin, what a joke, and wears the Green Goblin mask in Harry's honor.
Oh, man.
But it'll be interesting to see the juxtaposition of that statement with Ben, too. I could see like Peter having that conversation with Ben because he's the only adult that he tells. He hasn't told his wife yet.
So you think he's going to Ben first?
I think he should go to his wife first, but
isn't this what Escanor is saying? I feel like that this is the variant from the Noir universe.
Yeah, kind of.
The Noir universe had a very socialist bent to the great power, great responsibility line.
Well, I mean, it's set to 1930s Depression era too.
Yeah,
Marcy kind of elaborates better than I did after like my third sugar crash of the night that Peter lost the relationships and what he gained by being a hero when Maker took those away from him.
Yeah,
and that's the great tragedy of the new Ultimate Universe, is that these people's lives were stolen from them.
Yeah, but then it becomes the chicken or egg. Would he have had? Would he have been as wealthy and it had the
or well off or like emotionally healthy?
Yeah, would he have been enriched by what he gained, which was his uncle until 7-Eleven, his aunt and uncle and his wife and and the kids.
I kind of want to go back to the great responsibility thing and Harry saying it. I think Harry's usage of it was less like, be a good person and more of a coercion by Harry.
Yeah,
because usually with great power comes great responsibility is like a morality thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to say it's like an obligation, but it's saying that it's a morality clause.
No, I think obligation is right, because the next line is, it's such a gift, but only if you use it.
Yeah.
And my theory is that, like, it's not a theory, but that Harry is using an iconic line is usually a morality clause about the obligation to help people if you have the ability to do so, and trying to coerce Peter into like going on a bender of vengeance, for lack of a better term.
Sure.
Harry is driven by, like I said in my essay, Harry is driven by grievance rather than like a genuine sense of right and wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Radiac makes a point about there having to be a death. We're not. I mean, Neil obviously is invested in the death of Richard.
I do. I've said
Listen, I'm not like ride or die. The boy's gonna die, but
I've said in the previous shows, I think that, you know, it's very possible that, you know, Uncle Ben or Jonah and you know, Harry, like all these characters may die, like to kind of, because I feel like this story is interesting because it's, you know, we're trying to fix the universe, and I feel like the goal is to fix the universe and to make the universe not a 1-for-1 copy of 616, but to at least get it to a more familiar state of what it could have been, should have been. And so, you know, I think someone close to Peter will die.
and I kind of want to wait until Zach comes back, but Marcy made a good point that it doesn't matter whether or not Peter's material life is materially better. It's that he doesn't get the choice to lose it. Someone in the responses to my essay, someone pointed out that, you know, the institutions took Peter's powers, but someone of affluence gave them back to him. Teen Tony gave his powers back to him. But the difference is that Tony doesn't try and make Peter go along with his plan. Like, obviously he wants Peter to join the Ultimates, but ultimately the choice of whether or not he's going to do it is up to him. He doesn't put like a condition. He doesn't give Peter a conditional on his powers. And that's the important part of how he gets them back, is that someone gave them back with no strings attached to make his life how he chooses. And I think that's the fundamental difference of, you know, it's not about like what his material condition is. It's the lack of choice he got in the matter. That's kind of my TLDR for Zach, who just came back.
Thank you. Sorry, I had to, couldn't wait anymore.
That's fine.
I'm getting old.
We're almost in that 2 hours.
I know. We
out of one issue, we did pretty good. Though then again, half of that was just slinging zingers around.
Yeah. So okay. Man, this has been over the last 2.5 weeks. We have done 5 live streams, or we've done 3. Got 2 more to come because we are going to take the comment down. So kind of give everybody the plan. So next week we will be doing Shadow of the Green Goblin, the first 2 issues, because it comes out next week, second issue 2. The following week, the Slot Symposium, our next edition of that, will be coming out the following week. And I think I'm looking at the calendar correctly. Maybe that following week we're doing the 2 issues for ASM 49 and 50. So don't know when we'll do Spec and Ultimate, but we're kind of weekly right now because of Slot Symposium and the Shadow of the Green Goblin too. So hopefully you guys have been enjoying a lot of this new
newer content, us splitting the shows up like this, again, let us know. But yeah, so final thoughts, Neil. Ultimate Neil.
It's good to be back. I've missed doing this.
We've missed you, dude. Like the quality of the intros and stuff has not been as fun and as fluid as it was when you were here. So I just know that you are valued and appreciated, and I'm saying it publicly. So, Ultimate Josh, welcome back, buddy. It's been a while.
Yeah, been a while. Been crazy busy, but I'm glad I could do this tonight. This was fun.
Javi, it's always a pleasure, my friend.
Thanks for
final
having
thoughts for you
and for waiting for me to be available. I appreciate it.
Listen, like
it all ended up lining up because I was like an hour late.
Well, you and Ashley, and Josh and everybody here, I like this crew. I need to build a crew out for ASM. That's not just me and Adam. Although me and Adam are going to do some experimenting, I think. So we'll see what happens.
Whoa.
Like with length of time and stuff like that. I think we're going to.
Okay.
No, man, we're not doing that type of experimentation. Jeez.
And we're just milking the Napoleon Dynamite references, huh?
I guess tonight.
It helps to have something that you're motivated and energized to talk about.
I kind of want to talk about Blood Hunt, not the ASM time, but the main event.
I haven't read it yet. I've got it, but I have not read it yet. So
I guess my nugget of 616ism for the night is if you like McKay, just imagine this is like all of his titles coming together with the Avengers at the forefront.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
I liked it.
So I don't know what we're gonna do on Blood Hunt. I'm getting all the tie-ins, so we'll figure something out.
Patreon stream, I guess.
Yeah, we might do it for Patreon. Adam, your final thoughts on this episode? Actually, hang on. I'm gonna let you end Adam, and then I'm gonna have Ashley go first.
Okay.
What?
Your final thoughts.
Oh, I love this series, and every time a new issue comes out, I'm super excited to read it. It's enjoyable. I love doing the show with you guys, and hearing all the different takes and even like little things that pop up for you guys that I may have missed. And yeah, it's great. So it was a good show tonight.
Thank you.
Hanging out with you guys, even though we're all tired.
Adam, your final thoughts, my friend. You're the only one on the West Coast right now, so you're like, oh, it's only 9 o'clock.
Yeah. I guess I could be. Oh my god!
Wow, that's so many.
If you're gonna do that,
it's the size of the maker.
Oh god. Okay, Adam. Final thoughts.
I guess I can understand why maybe some people would be a little disappointed that there's no Spider-Man, but again, I think the depth we go into everyone's character here makes it worth it. And Peter Parker's. You come for Spider-Man, you stay for Peter Parker. So, and I want to reiterate like the idea, like, is this too decompressed? Is it not? I mean, I don't know. Your mileage may vary, but like I said, shout out to Hickman for essentially doing 4 done-in-one issues that are relatively standalone, that continue the story, but they're each single stories that connect in the sense of the characters and the passage of time. So
I'm sorry, did we have someone else who was supposed to go?
No, I was going to do my final thoughts, but somebody asked a very poignant question of what the hell did they eat?
I can't wait for the Hickman data page where we get the menu.
Professor says the issue is just 4 guys going to lunch. How do we get this much legit dissection of it and not mention what they were eating?
It looked like fish.
I think maybe it's fish, but like it looked like a cheesecake type thing.
Marcy kind of brings up the trans allegory for Ultimate Peter. I don't think it's a 1-for-1, but no metaphor ever is. I've seen a lot of people make that allegory. So
a lot of the secret identity is very queer coded.
Well, I'm thinking
in the
more
modern
about,
day.
I'm thinking more about the real becoming something you didn't know you were. But Javi, you said you had a final thought. I'm sorry, Javi.
I was going to end with Javi. I'll do my final thought, and then I'll.
Oh, okay, cool.
Then I'll end with Javi.
Not missed.
Yeah, I think this is a great issue. I think it's highly enjoyable. Was it a bit of a quick read? Yeah, a little bit. But honestly, I feel like there was more characterization in this book than I've seen in other Spider-Man books. And it's funny how we talk about that a lot, but we're eating good, no pun intended, when it comes to Spider-Man right now. And even if ASM is only a fast food meal, where we're getting more deeper, meatier things here with the other books, I think we're doing pretty good. So, Javi, your final thoughts, sir?
Kind of mirroring what Adam was saying. It's like, your mileage may vary on it, and whether it's decompressed or too decompressed, but this is the 4th issue in a row where I feel like I got my money's worth. I don't feel shortchanged. I don't feel like my money was taken away from me. Like I didn't get value from it. Like I feel complete. Like I got a complete story at the end of every issue, even though it is part of this ongoing larger narrative. But I mean, the hardest thing about it is the fact that it's a monthly comic like we used to get back when I was a kid, and like we have to wait so long for the next installment. But I don't feel like I'm not getting my money's worth. And even thinking about like this issue, because I wanted to reread it again today before we did the show. I'm like, it'll take me like 5 minutes. And it took me a lot longer than that, just because there is more dialogue than I thought in my head, and just trying to pay more attention to the little details in the art. And, what is this close up of the glass saying, or her touching his hand saying, or the reflection of Peter and MJ and Gwen's glass. Like, what's the subtext we're trying to get to out of all this stuff? So it actually took me a lot longer to revisit it again. And it's fun having a book that I get excited for every month. And it's like there's a lot of stuff that, there's like a lot of stuff that I read, and there's a lot of stuff that I want to read and have intentions of getting to or rereading again. So it's easy for stuff, even that I want to read, to fall by the wayside. But like, this is like just a book so far, month in and month out, that is just, it's at the top of that list. And I think I was trying to find it. Like when I first read this, when it came out, like I texted you guys, and I think I was just like, I was like, hey guys. And you're like, what? I'm like, I love Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah.
that was it. But I was just so like, oh, this book is so good. And I'm happy that we have it. And I'm happy to get to talk about it with you guys.
And it's that passion. It's that passion that and thoughtfulness. And I get where some people are like, oh, we're trying to bring the funny and whatever.
I hope people enjoyed this goofy ass episode.
I mean, look, we have fun doing this, and
especially when we enjoy the content we're talking about.
We're enjoying the content we're talking about. We're enjoying everybody's company. We're having fun bouncing off of each other. And I think that's what makes good podcasts and effective listening, because it makes, when we actually are making salient points, more impactful, when we're not making jokes and stuff like that. Like sometimes we got to break things up with a little levity. I certainly didn't expect this to go 2 hours, but I am certainly happy that it did. And so yeah, with that, want to mention our other fine shows here on the network, and our Patreon page. You see all our Patreons on the screen. Really thankful for everybody that is a Patreon. I do want to point out our newest ones.
Okay, Zach froze. Joey is one of our new $1 patrons. Joyce and RJ are our new 5s, and Tara is our new $15 patron. I think, did Zach do a read on the rest of them?
No.
Okay. Thanks to our returning spectacular patrons Sarah and our Spideydude VIPs Scott, Sebastian, and Venkman. We do have plans in the immediate future for some new stuff coming to the Patreon, as far as maybe either restructuring or redistribution of rewards for tiers. We haven't finalized any of that, but we're going to get to that when we can get kind of a more decisive vote from the whole staff, as opposed to just like the content czars.
I'm back. Thanks
Welcome back.
Thank F you T-Mobile. Yeah, we got Books of X. The newest episode is up right now. We've got the
episode 7's about to drop.
Yeah, it already did drop. This.
Oh, it did?
You dropped it today at noon.
Wow. Okay.
We also recently did our interview with me, Ashley, and Chris with Spine-Tingling Spider-Man's Juan Ferreira. We've got Greg Weisman and Jamie
Whoa! You can say that, but not Trujillo.
Oh my god!
My bad.
I was taking a drink and it almost came out of my nose.
It's only been 20 years, Javi. It's only been
killing
20
me
years.
at the end of the podcast.
Trio. All right. There we go. Latest episode of Mayday is covering the Spider-Verse Unlimited issues. We're going to be covering the Avengers Unlimited issues on the next episode. If you've not checked out already, the Chasm Dude Experience, where we cover the 2 Chasm issues. Voices from the Eyrie is going on a minor hiatus. Did I say?
You said Chasm.
Chasm.
Also, our eagle-eyed viewers might note that experience is spelled wrong. I did that by accident, and then Feedy thought it was funny, so I kept it in.
So Voices from the Eyrie is on a minor hiatus. If you have not checked out the latest episode with Jamie Thomason, it is hilarious because he's just always fun. Of course, if you've not checked out our original shows, Clone Saga Chronicles and Spectacular Radio, go do that. Check out the Sabi Cinema Era podcast, where they talk about the web of music, where they're talking about each of the films as well as the latest stuff on the Sabi Cinema. They just talked about the 2-parter or 3-parter with Doc Ock visiting Aunt May's house. So if you have not already followed us on the social medias, follow us at Spideydude Radio on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Threads over on Spideydude Network at Spideydude Network. If you have not already subscribed to us on YouTube, if you're listening to the audio edition, be sure to find us on YouTube, youtube.com/Spideydude Radio Network. And of course, if you want your voice to be heard, you can always leave us a voicemail. Our voicemail line, 818-925-6631. Once again, we want to thank everybody. I want to thank all my co-hosts for being a part of this episode tonight. And we'll see you next time here on the Spideydude Radio Network.